Toby, a lot has happened since we last talked. The Pirates have hosted a couple of meets. You've been at the Northwest Conference Multi-Event Championships, and there's a lot to talk about in terms of what's coming up this weekend. But let's look back first and just talk about the last two meets that Whitworth held, the Whitworth Peace Meet, which is one of the biggest meets Whitworth has ever hosted in terms of competitors, and the Twilight Meet, an alumni meet. What were some of the highlights that stood out for those, for you in those meets?
Yeah, like you said, a lot's happened even since then, so it's hard to remember. But that Peace Meet ended up being a great meet in regards to participation from a lot of Division I schools and schools in the region, and even out of the region, and got some good performances. Unfortunately, the weather didn't help us out in that meet, but we still came away with some really good marks, and marks that moved us up on both the national list and the conference list. And then the Twilight alumni meet that we had last Thursday was a great meet. It was actually a really special meet. It's smaller than, quite a bit smaller than the previous meet, but also smaller than it has been in the past. But with the alumni there and the other schools that were present, and then the weather was great. And then the football team comes out and serves and helps put on the meet. So thanks to Rod Sandberg for that. And we came away with a lot of really good marks. It's our last opportunity to get people qualified for conference, and we got a number of those. And then we got some good national marks, including our women's 4x1 relay that almost broke the school record.
The conference championships have actually already started. Because of the decathlon and heptathlon that took place last week. How did we do in that?
Yeah, so we brought 4 guys in the decathlon and 1 female. And again, our conference is very competitive in the multi-events. And so anybody that we take, we want them to compete hard, and our athletes definitely did that. We didn't come away with as many points as we have in the past, but we definitely came away with the points that we thought we'd come away with in this meet. We have a really young group. We had on the women's side Bree Rawls, who is a sophomore, but she left school, high school, a semester early, so she's really in her freshman year, all intents and purposes, and she finished 4th. And then JJ Martin has had a little hamstring injury all year, and he's a sophomore, and he's still PR'd in a number of his events and overall. And then Daniel Watts scored some points for us as well in his freshman year. And then Eli Cash, his freshman year, got a chance to get out there and compete in the decathlon. And then we brought Nathan Dykstra kind of out of mothballs as a senior to kind of bring some veteran leadership to that group.
So how many do you have going this week to the conference championships, and how do things pencil out?
Yeah, so we have 28 women on the team, and we're bringing 23 to the conference meet that are all qualified. And then on the men's side, we've got 37 men. And we've got people in every event on the women's side except for the women's pole vault. It's the only event that we don't have anybody competing. And then on the men's side, we have at least 1 person, if not 2 or 3, in every event. So we feel on the men's side, we've got a lot of depth and quality. On the women's side, we've got a lot of quality, not as much depth. But we feel like we can go out there and compete on both sides.